Welcome, everyone, to Filter and My Podcast. Unfortunately, my co host is not here because he had an awesome stream last night. So he's still in bed, I'm sure, sleeping. So thank you so much for being here and supporting us. We created this podcast because we wanted to get to know more about our fellow streamers, our followers, and our viewers in the community. When we're streaming, it's kind of hard to get to know someone from stream chat. So we've decided we were going to bring on two, or in this case, three individuals on each podcast who we are interested in getting to know better. As some of you who were here to watch our first podcast, either live or via VOD, we had announced that we'd be doing a fundraiser once a month for a chosen recipient to help make their life a little better and relieve some of the stress they are going through. We also announced we'd be choosing a recipient once a month who cannot afford a SWTOR sub and gifting them a 60-day sub so that they can play the game without restrictions to keep the magic going. This particular month, we are choosing, or we have chose, the Fat Control. I'm sure you guys have seen him in whether it's in game or in the stream chats. He doesn't. I think he no longer has a sub, so we've chosen him to give the 60-day. But in addition, I found out earlier today that Cheryl Mercury. Cheryl, are you here? Are you here, Cheryl? Wait, Hypnova, you are not Cheryl. Okay, Cheryl, because you were talking about that you did not get the act dog, right? And because you are preferred, I'm going to go ahead and gift you a 60-day sub. So after we're done here on the pod stream, I will give you a code and you can be sub for 60 days. Since we have already chosen someone else, this will just be for me. Anyways, so you will be getting that, and hopefully you'll be able to get your act dog. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and interview Nimmy and Valek first. So, can you guys introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Valek.
I'm Nimmy.
Okay, so how long have you both been playing SWTOR?
Uh, Ever since the game came out, basically.
Since
It's like 7
years,
years.
something like this. I think
And
I've been
are
playing
there
3
other
years.
games that you guys play?
No,
It's
not really.
Awesome. So you like this game as much as I do. Wow, I see that Filter made it. Yay! Yay for Filter. Wake up, go drink some coffee, drink a soda. I don't know. Now I got to go ahead and log in, Filter, so I can get you over here so you can sleep on the couch like you did last time. Anyways, so do you guys have any interests outside of gaming, like hobbies of any sort?
I have 2 horses and I like taking care of them, but other than that, not really.
No, I only play SWTOR.
That's why you're so good at it. Now we understand why. And how many hours would you say you play SWTOR in a week?
Lately not so much, probably like 6 hours a week, but a long time ago it was
6
a lot more
hours
than
per
that.
week?
Yeah.
When you first started playing, you mean? Is there any reason why it's decreased?
Just, I mean, I only really play for ranked, and ranked has been kind of stale lately, so until the next season, of course.
So have you already placed like where you want to be then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And what is your favorite activity, I guess, in SWTOR? I'm going to assume it's ranked playing, but
Yeah, TV.
what about you, Nimmy?
Same. Yeah.
Okay, you guys like the is it the competitiveness?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Or is it just the PvP aspect? Like, what
Well,
about
I enjoy
Warzones?
it to play with friends and at the same time being competitive, I guess.
Okay, so, but what about war zones and stuff? Is that, since you are at that level of of ranked play, do you find that war zones just seem to be boring?
It's
It
fun
can
to
be.
sometimes play to chill, but mm, it gets boring fast to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
I
same.
get it. Yeah.
I do like it though because that's better. I get to play DPS at least instead of
Oh,
heal. I don't actually like to heal.
so is there any reason why you don't play DPS in ranked?
I don't think I'm good enough to play DPS in team rank. No, I actually no one ever gave me a chance to it as well, but I don't think it would be good.
But is that something that you could try to work towards? Is that something you want to work towards? Is getting to be able to play heals as well as DPS in ranked?
Yeah, I guess I will need to have a preseason to try that out. I don't think anyone is gonna play with me as a DPS to see if I'm able to do it or to be patient enough for me to learn it in team rank.
Well, maybe not in team rank, but I mean, whether it's like dueling tournaments. I know that Dermot, who's going to be on next week, has an event happening on you guys' servers. Well, I will say your main servers, which is Darth Malgus. I mean, that might be something just to go out and have fun. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Dueling tournaments to me are like they get boring fast just because a lot of the time you're just sitting there, and I'm also not that good at dueling, so
What? What do you mean you're not good at dueling?
yes,
Did you
I'm
forget that
not.
I streamed the Nothing Personal tournament and you placed in the top three?
Oh, on Vanguard, I don't know. I still don't think I'm that good though.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, you're mistaken. Look, both of you guys are saying you guys are not good. Well, then I must really be. Well, we already know how I play, so there we go. It's not a big secret, but I mean, as long as you're having fun. If you're not having fun dueling or doing the tournaments, then yeah, obviously, why do it? But if it's because you think that you're not good enough, that's a different story. Um, I mean, yeah, I think that's something that either you can work on getting better or something, maybe, Nimi, so you can play DPS. Because I know when I go
Yeah.
into ranked, I play jugs. And yeah, I mean, it does make me a little nervous. However, I'm just like, let's go. I'm going to use my DCD immediately if I can. But, anyways, since it's the new year, is there anything you want to accomplish this next season that you weren't able to last year, or any goals that you can see, I guess, for the next year?
Mm, I'm not sure. Think I've kind of done everything I've wanted to.
What
I
about
just
you,
want to
Nimi?
get better in reading. I just want to get better at it at team rank because this is basically only my second season, my serious second season, I guess.
Oh, okay. Now, are there any changes or recommendations you'd like to see in the game with regard to? I guess we'll talk with regard to ranked.
Actually, no. I mean, I think they've done a decent job with the rank this season and how they've like placed like win trading. I guess I think they've done a decent job with that. So it's really my only issue I had with it, and how the seasons are shorter now.
Okay,
I think
Nimi.
that they've done a good
Oh,
job with that.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Uh, no, I don't know. Um, yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay. I wonder if I should get Filter here. We'll just take a quick break here. Filter, were you going to? I need. Are you in the game so I can get you an invite? I'm gonna have to do it. Sorry, I'm gonna have to tune hop over to an imp tune to get him in. Sorry about this.
You're good.
I'm retired, just to let people know.
Yes, Mister. I don't even.
I'm
No, no,
retired.
no, 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 no. Yes, you're really tired, not retired. Really tired. Um. Let me get you over here to my Narshada. Here. I should just give you a key. What is this? Let me just give you a key. How do I do that? Let's see.
Yeah, I was gonna
Stronghold.
sneak in whenever I want to.
Oh, wait. I can't do it that way. Here, let me do you in a group. Or get you in a group. Wait, group. Invite to group. Because you have some weird character names or something. Can you whisper me? Just whisper.
Whisper you what?
No, I don't know. I just need to copy and paste your, however way you type your name so I can give you a key. I don't know the alt codes or whatever. Thank you.
It's all 161 for my last eye.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember that, dude. I'll be like, what? Okay, let me give you a key. That way I don't have to do this. You'll have a key already. Here we go. And then just come over here. Now, I'm going to tune hop now.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Cassiana is saying you weren't retired last night in those flashpoints.
That's because I was dragging Castiana's dead body all over the
No,
place.
no. That was me. Excuse me. Don't take credit for something I was doing.
Him and his infinite wisdom decided to get drunk last night and crash into walls. That's Richard.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and sorry about oh my god, I'm stuck. Okay, there we go. Wait. Can I please, you know what? I'm going to sit between you guys. Let me go this way. Well, I'm glad that you made it, Filter. You had me worried a little bit, but then I thought, you know what? I'll take one for the team. If I can ever get to just sitting. Holy crap! What is this? Okay. You know what? Screw that. I'm coming over here. Let's see if I can do it this way. I think I'm moving too quick. All right. I'm sitting over here. This is where I'm going to be. I'm just bad at movement. Anyway, so still care about you guys. You guys are all standing up. You may sit. You may sit.
Wait, really? I'm sitting on my screen though.
Oh, you're standing up now, but now you're sitting down. And look at this. Look at Valek up there. He's like, I'm the king in the center up here.
I am.
Yep. And Filter's coming to, I'm sure he's going to go up there and sleep next to you. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back. Where was I? Oh, so I'd like to ask you guys, what are your, proudest accomplishments in the game?
I'd probably say getting my first gold in PvP, ranked PvP. I guess so. I don't know. I think that would be it.
And how many do you have now?
A few, quite a few. I don't know actually. I haven't counted.
Wow. You haven't counted. That means more than quite a bit. I mean, that means quite a bit.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, if you don't even know the number. So it's got to be a lot. Well, congrats on that. What about you, Nimmy?
I don't actually know. The only thing I can think of is back in the days, like my original main is a scoundrel healer, and somewhere when I first started to play, like I didn't play for so long yet, and I was doing really good HPS, and I was so proud of that back then. But recently, I don't know what has been making me proud. I'm just enjoying to play, and I don't know.
Well, I would say that was an accomplishment for you. It doesn't have to be a recent accomplishment. I mean, I know my best best accomplishment in the game was like my very first tune. So it doesn't have to be anything that's current. Just something that you would say that you're kind of proud that you did it.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen any significant changes in the community since you began streaming?
I haven't streamed in a long time, but I guess I've noticed a lot more positive people lately. I guess because of you, Nami. What? No, I get none. I guess it is because of you.
Oh,
yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's gotten a lot more positive.
Thank you for that. And
Yeah.
Nimmy?
Um, since I have been streaming, you mean?
Yes. I mean, have you seen changes in the Swarter community since you've been streaming? Like, I'm sure, like, whether it be your
To me, it's
viewers.
not been very positive though. So I don't know. The reason that I stopped streaming is because of some things going on. So I cannot really say that since I've been streaming, things has been going more positive though. But the community overall is getting better, I guess, because of your streams.
Aw, thank you. Well, I mean, definitely that is something that needs to be changed so that you're able to stream. I mean, do you enjoy streaming?
Uh, I did. I did, but not anymore, I guess. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
feel.
Would you say
Uh,
that's because of the community?
Not because of the community, just because of a certain people. It's not. They don't even really play Star Wars, so that's not really the case.
Would having like maybe some more mods moderating your channel, would that help?
I do, but they private message me or they come later back to me in game or whatever. They'll find me anyway.
But wouldn't that be something that they would find you regardless, unless you're constantly changing your name? Like,
Yeah, but when I stream, I trigger them or something, and when I don't, it's all good. I'm
I
fine.
see. Okay. So when they see you stream, that's where they it gets triggered all over again, like restarted. I'm so sorry
Yeah,
you go
and
through that.
it's okay. But this is a reason that I don't stream too much.
And that's there's I mean, honestly, there's the problem is that, that there are toxic people out there that kind of stop you from doing something that you enjoy. I know Filter and I both work really hard at
No,
trying to remove that.
it's not that I don't do it because I feel too bothered by it. It's just that I cannot bother with them. It's not that I am scared to do it or something. It's just like whatever. I rather have fun instead of getting bothered by people like that.
Yeah. Now I understand. I've run into a couple of people, but I must say for the amount of people that are in my Discord or in my stream, I really don't really have that. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty lucky
exactly.
with respect to that. But yeah, I definitely can appreciate. I mean, who wants to get in a crappy mood, because you're doing something fun in a game that's supposed to be fun. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So okay. So can, is there anybody, or can you tell me, has there been anybody in the game that inspired you, whether it be at the very beginning of the game, or maybe somebody more recent?
Uh, so when I started ranked, I started playing assassin because of a guy named Shaq Shots who inspired me. But then I transitioned over to Jug after watching Darth Junkie, who has inspired me to play Jug.
Nimi, is there anybody that you can say inspired you in the game?
Also, as streamer, I used to watch someone called Hypnova. He streamed Sorkill, and that kind of looked really nice to me. So I decided to try it out myself.
Nice. So how long have you been playing Sword Killer, by the way?
Uh, 1 year, I think. 2 year, 1.5 year, 2 year. That I started to play it seriously. I haven't been playing Zork in ranked for. It was only Scoundrel.
Oh, yeah. That was my very first healer, actually, was a Scoundrel healer. I love Scoundrel and Operative healers.
Yeah, me too. It's my favorite class still to heal. at least.
Yeah, it's fun. It really is
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. Just different. I guess I came in as a healer. I came in learning Sork and Sage Healer more recent. So I don't know. I'm still having fun with it. It's pretty easy. It
Sorkio is
seems.
kind of the most boring class to heal with, and Scoundrel and Merc are more fun.
Yeah. I have a Merc Healer too as well. I just like throwing the green stuff on the ground, to be honest.
Yeah,
I look kind
yeah.
of like Treek. So I'm like, yes,
Mhm.
I need to have that class. So, yeah. So I like to see you get more into some DPS though, because I know I've healed you guys. Not as good as you heal, but I mean, I know it's kind of fun watching you go out there and just wreck stuff.
I actually enjoy DPS and tanking a lot, but yeah,
Do
I
you
keep ending up
tank?
playing. Yes, but again, this is only in Rex. Even though last season I have been doing some tanking in team ranked, and I enjoyed it way more than healing, but I don't really feel too comfortable with it.
Oh, gosh, I didn't think that. Wow, that's kind of surprising. I didn't think that you'd be tanking. Wow.
Healing is actually the least fun thing for me to do.
You need to switch it up then when you're doing
Yeah.
regs. Just go out there practicing tanking and whatnot. Hey, you can go and tank for Cease. He's all. I remember him telling me, "Hey, can you tank for me? Here, go switch and put a generator or whatever shield or whatever it was on my jug, and boom, you could tank for me." And I was like, "Oh heck no, this was too hard."
Yeah.
But yeah, you can definitely go tank for Cease. I'm sure. I think he'd
It's
appreciate
good.
it. Now, is there anything that you feel you could make this community even a better one than it is currently?
Hmm. I don't know. I think you are doing a really good job. And with my position right now, I don't think I can do something like that. Also, the PvP community is kind of toxic. It's just a sad thing, I guess.
But I think with what you've done with this entire community, Nami's doing good. It's getting a lot more positive, and I'm noticing that.
So I'm wondering, okay, so are there any projects or events that you guys are going to be hosting or want to be part of in the future?
Uh, I'd like to see like 4v4 events. Like to see more of those with like the new PvP challenge thing.
Yeah, but that's pretty hard to host, though.
I
Like,
guess I don't know.
how is someone going to stream it? How can this person be in all the matches? There should be a 3 versus 3, maybe.
Maybe yeah. I don't know, something like that.
I think
Yeah,
it would be
I
fun.
agree.
I had fun
Yeah.
streaming the 2v2s. Those were fun. I
Yeah.
mean, I want to say Dermot went and streamed something recently. Wasn't it a 4v4 on Darth
I'm not
Malgus?
sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there was like some 4v4 tournament.
Yeah, there was some 4v4 tournament, and I know Dermot streamed it. So, I mean, I could see that happening. Why not? I mean, that was the whole
Yeah.
reason for Rishi Stronghold. So, and especially too with the guild challenges and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So, I think that would be good, honestly. Is that something that you'd want to like either participate in or maybe even group up with some people to run?
Probably participate in it, yeah. I think if I would run something like that, I would start pulling my hair out and go crazy.
Yeah, it is a lot of work to get
Yeah.
events going, to be honest. But it is also fun when it goes smoothly.
Yeah,
You
for
just
sure.
have to have some good people there helping you out and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so well, I mean, would that be something though that you would help somebody who is, let's just say somebody said, "Hey, that's a great idea. I want to do a 4v4." Is that something that you would like to maybe just help a little bit in since you have
I mean, I could, I guess. I don't know.
like a small part of it, right?
Yeah,
collecting the bets, right? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. I mean, that's something, I guess.
We'll have Nimmy collecting the bets over there by the bar.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually had a few additional questions because this is more, I guess, this interview is more geared towards obviously ranked community, right? Since you guys, that's what you pretty much play. Now, what do you think about the ranked community?
Toxic.
Yeah.
And what do you?
Well,
Definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I was done.
No, I was going to say, how do you feel like? What do you see with regard to the throwing, the competitiveness? Um, like, is that really fun for you
It's
guys?
kind of annoying. It's really annoying. Like today, for example, I gained about 200 Edo in total. Uh, then when traders or throwers came on, and I lost like 140 Edo again. It's really frustrating when you're climbing up. You will lose it all again because of people like that who cannot get their rating in a fair way. It's really frustrating.
And Valek, what do you think about that?
mm, I mean, I guess like, I guess you can't really do anything about the throwers because it's just gonna happen
Hey, yeah.
unless like they start implementing some rule like they did with like boosting and win trading now. But other than that, I don't know if you can really do anything to stop that.
Now, when you say the throwers, right? Is it just people that get into a match and just randomly throw because they either have a friend on the other team or they don't like someone on their team, or is it just like a set individuals?
I think
Mm,
it's everything, literally
yeah,
everything. It's people who have a friend in the other team, or it's people who just don't like someone in their own team, or it's just someone who's really bored and just wants to be a troll and annoying and thinks it's really cool. I think it's literally there's so many different reasons for people to do this. I guess.
yeah,
But doesn't that, oh, so they don't care about their own rating then, right? They don't care.
yeah. I don't
Indeed.
think they would really care about their own rating.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They
So
probably use like not their main character for it.
so they see you like they may see, like, for example, let's say Devil is streaming or Mickey's streaming ranked, then they see, oh, he's in queue on this server, I'm gonna queue up, and hopefully if I'm on his team I'm gonna to basically lose,
Yeah,
right, stuck it or whatever.
yeah. Like I've seen a few people Q snipe Devil and just throw because he's a streamer. They just want to see his reaction.
Oh, well, Devil definitely has a reaction, he's very
Yeah,
animated. So you don't have to throw on him to to get that reaction.
yeah.
Oh my. Now, here's my last question to you guys, and I'm sure that Filter may have some further questions, but what advice would you say to some PvP players who are wanting to trans, I guess, go into ranked, whether it's team ranked or solo ranked?
Well, I mean, when I first started, I mean, I guess just don't care about losing at the start when you're trying to learn. Like the way I learned is I had lost a lot, basically every game versus like the good players until I finally, I guess, started understanding how to play myself. So I'd say just, keep going through the losses until you can, finally start learning.
Yeah, I agree.
But okay, so someone like me, right, who would never ever be interviewed on a ranked PvP panel. Now I'm going in just because I want my deco. You know that. Everybody knows.
Uh,
I just want my deco that we passed on the way down here. What would you suggest to a person like me that's going to get whispered or said in the teen chat, like, you know, maybe with some toxic comments. Like, what would you tell the person that's coming in from kind of a, I guess, casual play into competitive play?
I mean, probably like the same thing. Like, just keep going. Like the only way you're gonna learn is by keep doing that and just going through like the toxicity and the losses and stuff like that. 'Cause, I mean, like if you stop because someone's being toxic, how are you ever gonna get better?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. How are people going to learn to? I mean, the best way
I,
to get better is to play someone or duel someone that's better than you, and one
right.
day you're going to be able to beat them. Maybe after my, for me, maybe years or a bajillion duels, but at one point, hopefully,
I
I'll
don't
get.
mind inexperienced players, but I do mind people who queue for rank who, for example, don't have a set bonus, who don't have gear, who don't know the basics of their class. That's kind of annoying to me.
Hmm.
It's like they should know that they should be getting some gear before queuing for ranked, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you're going to get
Like if
into
someone's
PvP,
inexperienced, I don't mind because they need to play to get experience and get better, right?
right?
But if you don't even understand the basic of your class, that's like, I don't know, it's a bit annoying to me.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Mm. I agree. I agree. I hear a lot of complaints from people that say, "Oh my gosh," and I mean, they're all upset. Now, do you guys, if you guys get whispered things, do you guys get whispered things in matches? And
Yeah.
if you do, how do you reply to that?
I usually just ignore it, and I don't know. I usually don't want to give them the time of day to think that they're getting to me.
Nice. I like that answer. What about you, Nimmy?
I'm not that patient. If someone is whispering me, blaming me for a lot of switches because of them, mostly, I can get triggered. Um, I also don't understand that someone cannot admit the loss on himself, for example. It triggers me. So when someone is like whispering me, blaming me for something, I get triggered. Well, I would actually just admit when it would be my fault or something.
Mm.
It really depends on my mood too, how I reply to them, I guess.
Now, with this, okay, one last question. So, with this last 2 weeks, having to get our MDCs right through story ops, uh, does that make either one of you guys think to take a break and maybe do some ops, like whether it be hard mode or nim?
I have been enjoying these offs a lot actually. We have been doing um God's story mode and it was actually difficult and we had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But no one wants to play ops with me anymore, so I'm a bit sad.
I think with like the whole new gearing system, it's maybe like go further away from the game, I guess. That's just because I'm too lazy to actually do all this stuff.
Oh, is that why you're kind of like, do you think that it's making you kind of maybe step away from the game? Do you see yourself doing that? Because you're going to not have the, let's say, 258 gear that everybody else has?
I wouldn't say like step away completely, but like not go as hard as I originally was, you know?
I don't mind the grind actually. It's alright, especially in PvP you are getting booster anyway, and I think gear does not actually matter that much. So I am not in a rush as well to gear up. As long as your stats are fine, it's okay, I guess.
Well, my healer's at 258 armor pieces, and I think I have one or two piece, or maybe only one piece on left side. But I was like, yay! But I mean,
Yeah,
you could put me in the best gear, and I'm not going to do the healing that someone will do in 230 gear, probably.
well, for that reason, that's a little bit always what I'm thinking. Like, you can have a good heater in bad gear, and he will still pull off more than a bad heater in good gear.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
just guess if your stats, like your alacrity and your crit, are okay, then it should be fine either way. Unless you're doing like nightmare operations and stuff, then it's actually counts. But
yeah. Well, I
then
will
it
say
matters.
this. Um, I know in my guilds, I have one on Pub and Imp. We are going to be starting hard mode ops. We're going to start at that point, and I think it's going to be a prog team, but it's going to be run by a Nim, experienced Nim raider, who also is a streamer as well. So if you guys ever want to pop in, or you guys would like to get on the team, definitely let me know
Yeah,
if that's something.
I've been asking quite some people every day now to do operations with me, and they just don't want to do it with me.
Oh,
They're bad. Yeah.
oh. Well, I did one with you, didn't I? Or was it a lockout or something? We did a couple. I think it might have been
Yeah,
lockouts though. But
Lost bosses, yeah.
yeah, last bosses. But yeah. Okay, well, those are about the. If I can think of any other questions, those are the questions that I had for you guys. I am going to pass you over to Filter.
What
If
is Filter
Filter's
gonna do?
awake. I don't know. Filter, do you have questions for Valek and Nimmy?
Finally, get to hear Valek's voice. God damn, it's been too long. Never heard it before, so I'm glad to hear it.
Are you sure you're
You
glad?
never heard his voice?
Never heard his voice,
Oh,
so I'm in total shock right now. Besides the fact I've only got 4 hours of sleep, I'm good to go. So, because I know I probably missed half of everything there, so I just want to know, like, I mean, like, what really makes it toxic? Is it just the way like people are? Like, is it just the fact that they don't know how to play their class? Is it just like the fact that they enter and you check out? Because I know a lot of people in ranked PvP like to check out, everyone's gear just to make sure everything's okay. Like what triggers like a ranked response? Like you're like Devil. I see this guy. He goes like you're a shitter. Like what triggers that? Is it because people don't know the class? They don't know what to do. They're just in there just to win trade. Like why is it so toxic?
Mm. I'd say just people get shady because you're going into ranked without like completely knowing your class. I'd say that can get like a toxic response.
yeah, exactly. Or you have someone who's in complete, like, the wrong gear, no set bonus, super bad gear, no crystals in their weapons even, like, it's not that important, but it's still a thing. And then they call you bad, for example, that makes me trigger.
Now I wanted to ask, this is just me. Who gets more triggered, you or Caramels?
Me.
I've heard she gets pretty triggered. I'm just saying, like with her toxic cheesecake, blueberry cheesecake, all the cheesecakes, So I
I
just
think
want to make
Valek
sure.
needs to answer this because he probably knows.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
I
wait, what?
think you probably know better who is raging or get triggered more, caramels or me.
You.
Well,
I don't know, because I mean, I've heard. I mean, from what I've heard, Vade gets pretty triggered too. But I mean, I guess between the two of you, I guess you're the more triggered one. Okay, okay.
I rarely get triggered.
I don't really know caramels that much, so I might be wrong, but I know of myself that I can sometimes, like, after a whole day of losing games, I can get pretty triggered, yeah. I try
Next
not
time
to
we'll.
be, but it's hard.
No, it's understandable. It's a sensible response, especially if your team should have done this and they did that. It's understandable there. I was wondering, do you think they should up I was say the Valor Cap? Because some people are talking about like 25 is too low. People have been saying like, let's raise that up a bit to maybe like 50 or 60. For the after you kind of grinded a bit. Would you say that maybe without stop kind of like that
Valor's
kind of.
literally no, it's nothing. It's gonna change absolutely nothing. You can have someone who is like not sub-sitting at a Python, for example, like guarding, and get his Valor high up like that. And still doesn't really know what he should do and what cooldowns he should pop and whatever. I don't think Valek matter. Valek. Valor
Wow.
I don't think Valor matters
Rip
at all.
Valek. I'm just saying right there.
Okay.
Okay, so Valek does matter. Just saying. But like, let's just say, for example, let's just say, for some reason, devs. I know devs, like to be on different accounts. If they're, listening right now, I mean, like, what would you like want to change? Like, what would you say, like a pot, like a, like you'd say, like, oh yeah, I want this to change, and then like why? What would be like a positive outlook on rank? Because right now, I mean, it's in the minute. It's known as a toxic community. Like, what would you guys like recommend to the devs, like directly? Hey, can you guys change some of this?
Honestly, I'd say the quality of the rewards you get. Because I think once they change that, because I mean, there were like a lot of good people who played ranked who weren't like toxic or whatever, who quit just because, ranked was kind of, pointless. I think if they would do that, they'd see probably a lot better positive feedback on ranked.
Like, what kind of rewards are there? I mean, like they introduced a hollow fiery rancor mount. I mean, it looked pretty cool. I mean, there's also the hollow rancor mount, but like, what kind of like reward would you say that would be worthy, at the end of the season or whichever?
Like, let's say, like, they usually put some decent looking armors on the cartel market. Like, sometimes saving those for like a ranked reward. I don't know, like something like that. Like, I think armors were the coolest thing they introduced in ranked, and they haven't really done that since season 3, and here we are, season 10, finally getting another set of armor for
What do you say?
ranked or whatever.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was about to say they took out the PvP armor. I was like, man, if I only got to level 60, and they took it out. I was like,
Yeah.
bastards. Like any specific like titles or anything, like anything that you'd be like, well, because I seen a really cool one, but that was like on Daiquiri's sword, and it was like like Apex sword or something like that. I was like, I don't know how to get that, but
Yeah, that's like top 3 titles. I think the top 3 titles have been okay until like last season and this season. So I mean, I think upping that would also, up the competitiveness, I guess, and the amount of people that would play and try to get it.
and Jackie Zakia makes a good point there. Excuse me. That would expertise change it? Like when I first entered PvP, I'm not gonna say like in the ranked PvP scene because that's not my thing. It's not for everybody, But would you love to see expertise back as a statistic? That way, people that can't just queue as in their PvE gear, they have to actually grind for the PvP gear.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see expertise be a thing again.
Because I remember being an immortal jug, like with no expertise, facing somebody that like had like 3,900 expertise, and I lost fairly cleanly because I didn't have the PvP gear. So I mean, would you like to see 2 sets back like PvE gear? You have your PvE gear for like flashpoints, ops, and all that. Then you have your PvP gear with like expertise and all that good stuff. Would that probably make a good change, like back to where it was?
Personally, I think it would, but I'm sure others have their different opinions.
What about you, Nimmy? What would you say?
I didn't really know much at all when expertise was a thing.
Okay. Understandable there. I just want to make.
I was playing back then, but that was only for a short while. Like I played for just like a few months, and then expertise got removed, so I don't actually know much about that. I think I agree on what Valek says, but I cannot speak out of my own experience.
Okay. Well, I just wanted those are my couple questions there, just because of how I don't want to ask any repeat questions in general, but those are my couple questions there. Unless he's had something there, I know he's saying something in says, so he's there. He's just really calm.
Mm-hmm.
What I was going to ask if anybody had any questions down there in the chat there, besides fixed solo ranked. I don't think that's possible, but it's okay. you mind if I throw out some names, some ranked PvPers? You give me your honest opinion about them, if that's possible.
Sure, I guess.
I mean, it's not like we're like talking bad about them, but I was gonna see just what you guys thought about them. Just from playing against them. Like my first name would say the man sitting right there, or I should say woman, Cease.
I haven't actually played much against these, so I couldn't really say. But from like streams and stuff, he knows his classes. He seems pretty good.
Night Train.
I've played a lot against him, and I think he's a really good juggernaut.
So you two were, from what I saw, maybe SWTOR ranked isn't up to date though. You guys are duking it out for 16-12 rating, on solos, and you beat him out by like about 12 or 11 ranking there. So I saw you were in solos like the number 9 jug in the world there. So congrats to you, buddy. You guys were duking it out for that 9 and 10 spot, and I was like, you beat him out. So
Yeah.
Devil.
It's been a while since I played against Devil and stuff, but like back in the day, he was really, really good.
Not now though. He's just now. He's just he's there.
I think he's a bit washed up right now.
Who?
Devil.
Oh. Oh.
I used to play on Harbinger like with and against him quite a lot.
Hey
I think
man,
it's just, I think him just being away from the game for a while.
I think he's just getting back into things, and I know a lot of people come not only besides the fact that he has sniper PvP, which is I know his main class there, but he also his insults, his comments. I come personally because the banter is pretty good there, and then also because of the fact that when I see him typing people, I was like, oh no, this is gonna be good. Get the popcorn out, get the drinks out. This is gonna be good.
Yeah.
As long as it's not me. So
yeah, he's always been banter. I enjoy watching his streams just for what he says and stuff.
I'm gonna put him out here because you guys put him out there. Junkie.
Junkie, best player ever.
Junkie, yeah. Definitely.
Like this is just people that I've seen, I've heard of. So I mean, I'm just pulling names out, out the wazoo there, just because from what I've seen. So excuse me if I don't mention the top guys here. What about Kogas?
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't really played much
Mr.
against Kogas.
Mr. Sharkbait, oh haha, top 3 jug of last season. Been for 2 straight seasons. Come on now, you can't say you haven't faced him.
I don't know. He plays like when I was doing ranked, I think he was on a different server when I was playing too. So
Oh, so would you dethrone him if you were playing on the same server then, or what?
definitely not. No.
No, okay. How about my dude right here, Mr. TMG?
TMG, amazing.
TMG.
That's my boy. He's the best.
OS purple. Purple.
He
Bad.
could do a lot of things better.
But he's a good player.
He's alright, yeah.
Okay. Like I said, this is not to create anything like toxic. I just want to know honesty. Like I mean, you can't really be like, oh yeah, he's like garbage or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just being honest there. How about Little Buffs?
I can't
He's in
say
chat right
I've
now,
seen
so
him-
don't. He's in chat right now, so.
I've seen him play for a while, and he's honestly gotten a lot better than from what I've first seen. So I think like he's on the path to being actually pretty decent.
Here we go. I almost forgot him, but not really, because I said he had that Aussie accent, but he's really British. So my bad. How about Mickey?
Mickey?
I don't know how he confused the two, but me.
Yeah, he's a pretty decent deception sim. Like I've played a lot against him and done a lot of duels versus him. Dueling wise, he's usually beaten me, so
And I'll mention Dermoth.
Dermoth?
Dermoth.
He's okay, I guess. He knows his class pretty decently.
Uh-oh. We're getting into it here. We're getting into like what you think is decent, man. I think it's gonna go downhill from there. How about the returning golden god as he self-proclaims Razanon?
Ooh, that's another one of my boys. He's
Razanon. I watched his last two VODs personally, and I was like, if he can teach me about Swerk, because he had like when he pulled up his like little icon down there of the PvP, he had like 72,000 kills alone on his Swerk, and I was like, bro, I need to learn from you because obviously you were doing it right and I was doing it wrong. So
yeah, he's been
what
playing
about him?
Swerk for a long time. Same thing. Like he's decent. He knows his stuff.
All right. I think that's the names that I had. I can't really think of any more. I mean, what does Hottie still play? Is that her name? Kissing Ire? She
I
still
don't know.
play?
She hasn't played in a while.
There's other names I'm probably forgetting there. I don't know all the names there. I've seen Acreus around. You know, he places I think in everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jet,
Jetaisha.
it's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Is there any names I'm forgetting? This is just from ranked. Oh, Sinkase? Sink?
Sync? Yeah, he was really good. He's a good friend of mine too.
Are you reading the Say chat? Cease is asking about Dongho or Diavola. Hi, Dia, by the way.
Dongho, I've played a lot against and with a lot. He's a good friend of mine as well, and I think he's really good. Diavola, I don't think I've played a lot against him, but from what I've heard, he's pretty good as well.
I know he has. I can tell you this. I've played in some war zones with him, and as a healer, and I'm like, yes, this tank knows how to guard. I love it. And I was like, I never died. I was like, I'm following this guy all over the map. I don't care where he's going in the corner. I'm following him because I was kept alive. I must admit. So thank you for that, Dia.
And you want us to thank Snave for hosting you with 90 viewers.
Oh, thank you, Snave. Thank you so much. What about Snave? There you go. There's someone to ask.
Yeah.
Snave, right there. Perfect timing, Snave.
Amazing. Best operative in the game.
How about okay, here's a DM favorite here. When he was playing the game, MacGyler, assassin. Mac Geiler. Come on now. He's one of Snave's good friends there. You can't tell me
Yeah,
you don't.
he was a pretty good assassin fan as well. He was really good at dueling in solo ranked.
Okay, Koba wants to know what about him.
Koba? Yeah, he's alright, I guess. I haven't seen him
Oh.
much.
He's alright. Ooh.
Well, I haven't seen
Koba,
him
you
much
been-
lately.
Hypnova's like, what about me? What about me?
With Nova, I think you're really bad.
Comes out with it. Oh, because like the reason I was just wanting to ask was just because I was just honest about what you thought of your fellow ranked PvPers. Like in general, you guys play against each other all the time. Then you guys buddy up, and then you guys play against each other. So I mean, like
Yeah.
like when you play something, like let's just say it was you versus Night Train. Does it get like, is there like any like toxicity like when you guys play? Or is it just like, oh, you beat me, I'll get you next time, or is it like, oh man, you suck, I'm like next time, is there like any like type of like motivation to want to be like, if he gets in a match again, for example, not just specifically him, but is there any like toxicity between like friends when one person beats the other?
I'd say there's more like a friendly toxicity, if that makes sense.
If you can explain friendly toxicity, because I could say what I think it is, but then I could be like completely missing the mark.
Like, I guess just mocking them that you beat them, I guess, is what I'd say.
Would you say like getting your golden flag out and just after you defeat them, you just
Yeah, like yeah, exactly.
because I've seen that happen on a new versus gauge, especially the Nami and like just unranked, where like say like in like what Aster 10 or
Yeah,
I'm sympathy or I'm not sympathy. Those like oh yeah I'm just gonna go place a golden flag on them just because
yeah. Like I guess that's yeah. I'd say that's friendly toxicity. I guess.
Okay, okay.
I like how Cease is saying, what about Shekshas, the god?
Shack shots is a really good thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting
What is this guy
messages,
saying?
DMs of people asking me stuff. So I really wish. Can you guys just put it in the stream chat if you want Filter to ask? It looks like I could tell you here some. They want to know what about Cloudy?
Cloudy. Uh, it's just another NA player that I haven't really played a lot against.
I don't know most of those players.
And they said, what about Caramels
Same thing. Like I haven't really played a lot against caramels.
or Fear?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like
say you play more on Darth Malgus, right?
yeah, like I don't know most of these NA NA
I'm pretty much clueless about a lot of people. Like all the people Valek would know from NA, mostly never heard of them or knew who they were until not too long ago.
How about the one that gets brought up who probably did or did not win trade? How was and I see videos about this. How about Lyala?
I think he's a pretty good player. He's yeah, he win trades, but I still think he's a pretty good player. He knows his classes and everything
Yeah.
about that.
I have a question about that before I forget. Sorry. When you said they're I'm like a good player, is do you have any, I guess, speculation? Why would they win trade then?
Mm, I know some people do it for money. Some people just do it because they're too lazy to actually grind.
Okay. So to get to like that spot, like that they figure if they went and played like however many games to get to that spot. They know that they're
Yeah,
good enough to get there, but they just don't have the time nor do they want to do the grind for it. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
exactly. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of sucks.
yeah,
Hey, if you're on my team, I'm good with that. But I
Yeah.
yeah.
mean, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Um, yeah, I would never be queued with a match with anybody in the top, whatever.
You're saying ask about Apollo. I don't know who Apollo is. Sorry.
He's not that great. He
Probably
used
what
to
I never heard of
be.
him.
Yeah, he quit a while ago.
And what about late? It's saying he's asking what your thoughts are about him.
Uh, he's a pretty good player too. I played a lot with him as well.
Okay, someone put in a whole bunch of names, so we're going to go really quick because we're going to be moving on to Cease. And then if you guys have any questions for Cease as well,
Your
Nimmy,
mic is cutting
Valek.
out a lot, Nami.
Oh, I'm sorry. Uh,
That's good.
I got to whispered a whole bunch of names, so I'm going to do this and that's it. Okay, Buffs. They want to know about Zero, Asana, Kasana.
Asana, I think Asana is like probably the best player in this game.
Oh, nice.
I have no idea who
Kasana.
Zero is though. Yeah,
Okay.
Asana.
No, I think Zario, right?
Oh,
Is it Zario?
Zario?
Oh,
Yeah,
Zerio. I'm sorry, Zerio.
another really good player.
Kasana.
Yeah, that's Asana as well. It's just
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Ketrix.
Catrix, yeah, he's a really good solo rank player.
Tursa.
really good healer.
And Carlton.
He's a pretty good tank in jug DPS.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Oh, they're Nimmy's friends, Buff saying. See, you should have just typed it in stream chat so I didn't have to look at my Discord message. Oh, my. Oh, they want to know about Neff.
Mm. Same thing, like another NA player that I haven't really played a lot against.
I don't know him.
Are you guys seeing the stream chat by chance?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you, people are putting in names. Can you just answer to those, I guess?
Yeah, Gilgamesh, he's really good.
Like the gaming.
I don't want to answer that.
I
Punjar,
don't know Punjar.
really good. No, I'm kidding. He's actually pretty bad.
Wow! Wow!
Daily PvP. Yeah. Astanak, another god. Zephyrus.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to answer that, Acreus.
Okay.
But I feel like we have the same answer in mind.
Yeah, I heard about infiltration. I heard he's just okay. No, I'm not good at all. Don't put me on the spot like that. I don't do ranked. My total ranking for that, because I did it for giggles, it's 3-1. I decided to keep it that way.
It's not that bad though.
That's it. I'm out.
Nah, finish your placements.
I did finish my placement. Bottom 3.
Oh.
I'm the bottom. Okay. I don't know who Krubs is.
What, you say Crub?
Oh, he says Krubs. I don't know, Krub. What is that?
Yeah, Crub's. He's okay, I guess.
Well, okay, Sync. Oh my gosh. What's he like, or how is he as a player? I can answer that. I think he's one that needs a lot of attention, and I'm kind of sad for him that he needs the attention that bad, considering he's like friends of you guys. So I don't know why he needs the attention from me, but I mean, it's all good.
Well, did anybody else have any questions then? Just out of curiosity.
Guess not.
Guess not. I don't know what that means, and I think you're a darkie, so I don't care. Who's that to? What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
I don't know what that means.
He was trolling before, so I guess it's just a troll.
Oh. I don't know, but I don't know what that means. If you're talking about if I'm on Imp side, no, I'm on my very first pub tune, so I'm light-sided sentinel, but I mean, I don't know if that was what you wanted to know, but anyways. Okay, so are you ready to interview Cease, the raid god himself?
Oh, the raid god himself. I don't know. I can't wait to hear his voice, really. But I don't raid what? The raid boss, the PvP guru. I mean, I don't know. Is he ready? I mean, yeah, his mic is still on mute, to be honest. All right, see. So the floor is yours, man. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, the spotlight is yours, sir.
Alright, my name is Cease. I have a Twitch. Currently, I haven't been talking in chat because I have access to my Twitch account. Top of that, I also make YouTube videos under the YouTube called Seized Faith. But I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I had my mic muted for most of this time because my dogs have been barking the whole time. Thankfully, they've stopped now.
All right, here, and I'm just getting everything pulled up on my ends here, so I can make sure we go ahead and get everything taken care of here for you. I do see here, and I'm just looking on rank 10 seasons low ranked for Marauders. He is placed number 30 out of a list of Marauders there. So I'm just letting you guys know he knows what he's talking about as well. I gotta give props to C's for putting in all that hard work and getting into the rankings of the SWTOR ranked 10 season there. So just wanted to give you props, brother.
So I only played like 10 matches on those characters, so I wouldn't say that's accurate.
So I want to make sure I give you props for that there. But then I want to ask you here, how do you feel about the PvP, man?
What do you mean by PvP? Like ranked or regs or what?
Just regs. How do you feel about it as a whole? Because I know we share similar beliefs on it is.
I'd say at this point in the game, objectives are becoming I guess less and less meaningful. They have made some changes recently into Hypergate and whatnot that make kills worth more than what they used to be. I'm all for objective maps and whatnot, but currently we now have 3 hut balls. I'm pretty sure nobody asked for Question Ball. I'm pretty sure we asked for a new PvP map, but we didn't ask for Question Ball specifically. And I'm pretty sure we also did not ask for a Vanden hut ball. At first, when I thought they were releasing Vanden, I thought they were going to replace Question Ball with that, but I don't know where I got that idea, but it would have been a miracle if they did. OPG, I think that's a terrible map. They could fix that map really easily, but they don't seem to care. Yavin Ruins, I think that map's pretty cool, but there's definitely a little bit too much foliage, and there's some camera issues, depending where you're standing. If you're really zoomed out, you'll eventually lose sight of your character, name tags, and your UI, as a whole. I think that's another problem that just never got either acknowledged or fixed. So I think what they could do maybe this year or going into the future, make non-objective war zones. 4v4s are all kill the enemy before they kill you. Doesn't make any sense as to why there's not really a non-objective 8v8 where it could be just a death match with some twist, has some traps like hut ball or something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. Not only would it benefit the players that just want a death match, but it would also benefit the people that don't really understand objectives and or just don't want to do them. On top of the people that do objectives, they'll be forced into learning how to play their class, how to not die, how to actually do damage. They'll force them to actually play rather than just AFK on the node the whole time.
Because I mean, for me, I can't do unranked. I can't do ranked in general. I suck. I'm just gonna say that, I suck. But just unranked in general, dude, I seriously can't play anymore. Is it just, for me, I think it's due to matchmaking. Maybe it's the gearing system. Maybe some, the gear, like you said, is 1,000 mastery more than the other gear. Is it? Would you say it's a matchmaking system that messes up? Because if someone if the healer leaves, they put in another tank or another DPS or whatnot. What would you say?
Yeah, there's definitely a problem with matchmaking. Excuse me. Definitely matchmaking has a problem. So what they introduced with tank, there's 3 healers. One team's probably going to be missing a healer, but at the same time, they're not going to be able to balance the tanks. So maybe they'll give 1 healer, 2 tanks to one team, and give 3 healers for the other team, or just 2. It's really weird. I don't know exactly how it works, but basically, if one of the tank or healer roles leave, they can be backfilled with a DPS, and they most likely will be. Therefore, that kind of makes that match completely unbalanced. Matchmaking becomes irrelevant in that situation, and you just kind of get screwed, which makes it really unfun. And on top of that, there's another thing that happens with matchmaking. All right, so if you have like high valor and kills and whatnot, they kind of use that as their matchmaking thing to set a standard of like what kind of player you are or how good you might be at the game, and they'll pair you sometimes with lower or lesser players that haven't had much experience, or on that character they don't play that much. They might have the same experience or be better than you, but they just don't play that character. So sometimes you'll get people that don't really know what they're doing, and at the same time, you might find a lot of people that really know what they're doing, and the games could get fun. But for the most part, most of the part is either people are leaving games, so you're not going to get a good match. On top of that, just some of the war zones are not that fun.
So let's just say, what if they scrapped Vandon and gave us like a new map? I was thinking like more like Osis. Like you might as well just it's a destroyed place. Just make it like a maybe put some stuff like Nar Shaddaa, like put some objectives there. But would you say like a 10, like what, an 8v8 or something like that? Would that be better? Just people outright just going at each other, destroying each other for like points. It doesn't have to be like like the temple itself, like in front of the temple or anything like that. Just like would you say a map where people can just destroy each other?
I like the ideal, but I think like they could do existing maps, so therefore they wouldn't. I guess development time to make these new maps and whatnot, they could probably just like make 2 different versions of Hypergate, and one of the matches where it's focused on killing, neither team can cap the other pylon, and you can't prevent the cap. Just make it auto cap, and from there you can either get orbs or you can just straight up kill the enemy. Like if that was a thing, then people wouldn't really be fighting on nodes. Like how sometimes your team will go all to the node and then you die mid because you're the only one there, or nobody went to your pylon and you never get your pylon, or everybody on the enemy team goes to your pylon and your team goes to theirs, and it's just kind of like a trade-off of kind of boring running around. Can't really get your team to group up and do anything. If they could just like change that, make it auto cap, nobody else can cap it, and you can use that either run orbs or a kill. I feel like that would be a way to make Ancient Hypergate like it's slightly different, but at the same time, give something, I guess, more fun or something that somebody could try it out. Like they can make that version, and then like keep the other version too, and see which version maybe people might like, or just have more maps in general. And they could do this with a lot of the other maps too, so they wouldn't have to put so much, I guess, effort or development time into this, as I know they're probably short with that.
So you say like more maps, less hotball, more maps, and then I know we were talking a little bit back and forth a little bit, but like how the flashpoint system is set up, would you say like add it to a war zone where people can be like, okay, I don't want to play hotball today. Let me go ahead and click that little thing instead of getting queued up for something random. Would you say just you can pick and choose what you want? Would that make it better? So that way, if you didn't want hotball, you'd be like, oh, F hotball, I don't want that. I want to play some different maps.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'm a big fan of Guild Wars 2. So like you'll queue up and you'll maybe vote on something, and then it has a RNG factor for selecting the lowest one. So say you get the RNG factor and it selects the lowest one, you'll have to play that one map that one person picked, and it may not be the map that you want to play, but it mixes up every now and then. But for most time, majority vote will win what you guys are playing. I think with obviously groups, it would probably dictate it a little bit more, but at the same time, if we had a queue like for specific things, I think a lot of things just would not pop. And on top of that, I do agree that we should maybe be able to avoid a certain kind of map, mostly because A, it's not fun to play, or it's almost unplayable for them. Like I know some people have performance issues in the Yavin Ruins and Vandon, as I do not think they're optimized still. But I definitely think we should be able to unselect some things like that. And I also believe that games at this point in the stage of the game it should be locked. Like as soon as somebody leaves, it should be locked. Nobody should be able to rejoin. Therefore, the auto shutdown of the war zone mechanic can actually work. There's a lot of time that you'll constantly be losing people and getting people to rejoin, which will just make an infinite loop of an unfair match that nobody wants to play, and people just keep rejoining because they're queuing solo, and they're like, man, I'm wasting so much time getting into the same match and whatnot. Nobody wants to do that, and if you do, you're probably just going for your weekly and you don't really care.
Because I don't know what it is. Like I mean, you can stomach it. I can't. I just can't imagine like every time I queue in for an unranked match. I get thrown in there. I'm always RNG is never on my side. I'm always on the losing team. I mean, like who wants to be constantly lose and whatnot? I know your frustrations is the fact that you just want someone to come up in your face and not run away. I mean, is PvP? I know. Well, like when. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Running away is kind of part of some class, and facing not a good way to play. However, like when somebody's hiding in their end zone, or just hiding at a node, intentionally not wanting to PvP, you see this more often than not. Like whole teams will just hide at their node and they just won't play. They'll just AFK there. And those kind of players are probably just there to get their daily or weekly done, and they don't really know how to PvP or don't want to PvP. I can't really say I blame them, but at the same time, we should be queuing PvP because we want to PvP, not because we want rewards.
9 times out of 10, you get people that just want to do weeklies, like PvEers who obviously you see it all the time. Like with PvPers, they'll say, "Well, we don't want PvEers. PvEers ruin the PvP or whatever. Whatever they want to say." But it's like I feel like sometimes SWTOR is forcing PvEers to do PvP related things just because they need to do the grind or they need to get something. I feel like the PvP should just be for those people that just want to PvP. PvEers can be left out of it. That way, PvPers are happy. All that good stuff there.
Yeah, that also makes me think about back when those players that didn't stand up way more.
Your mic's been a little bit in and out, brother.
Hold on. It's probably my heater. But basically, when expertise was a thing, you could notice when somebody didn't have expertise because you would hit them really hard or they'd be missing HP and whatnot. It really made it easy to tell who wasn't, I guess, not geared or not ready for it, didn't really know what they were doing. And you could abuse that fact. And that would be, I guess, a real turnoff for somebody that wants to get into PvP. And they're like, man, why am I getting nuked and whatnot? And when they eventually do get gear, they'll see like the benefits of having the gear and how much better they can do once they have it. And, as a new player, when I first started the game, I didn't really know too much about augments, and I didn't realize how much augments really helped. And not only that, once I got my PvP gear, it helped a lot because I started in PvP, or not PvP, but PvE gear, and I did okay. But when I got PvP gear, I did so much better. And then when I found out that augments actually help a lot, I augmented, and that helped me even more. I think people now, not only do they not have color crystals, they don't have augments. They're wearing random green gear. They don't know anything about the gear or the stat pools or what they should be going for, which definitely helps, I guess, them stand out. But at the same time, Spolster is taking care of them. They still hit hard, but probably not optimizing their damage overall, like the whole Warzone. Because they might get that lucky 20k auto crit ability like Raging Burst or something. So they can still hurt you, but overall they're not going to do that much damage. And when expertise, those kind of players didn't really hurt you at all. So you didn't really have to, I guess, really worry about it. And I think expertise coming back would be a great thing for the game.
Okay, because I know I touched that with Nimmy and Valek there. Maybe I had the expertise wrong. I don't know. I'll probably think about presence than expertise there. But would you want to, in your opinion, would you want to bring it back? Like you have your PvE gear and then you have your PvP set gear?
Yeah, I would probably do away with my PvE gear, except for like on my main character. Just because it'd be too much to take care of. I already think gearing right now is too much, and it's actually unfun. It's actually made me stop playing as much, stop streaming so much because I'm spending my time grinding on this game when I am on, and it's so mind numbing and boring, and it's not anything new. It's the same thing every single week. They didn't mix it up. I think it's really bad that they forced us to do group content to gear. I mean, as an MMO, that's a good thing. But at the same time, it's like it's a grind. It's not actually like fun. And I wish it was much more different. If there was legacy components, or not components, but legacy MDCs, I think it would make it a lot better overall. But don't think they really care. They're just kind of like putting in fodder stuff until 6.0 comes.
Man, I just don't. I was there a little bit when the expertise was around. Like I said, I was on my immortal jug, and I did absolutely no damage to someone that was full PvP set compared to my zero expertise self. So I mean, if that's what PvPers want, I mean, if that'll make the game, I guess, more fun. Go ahead with it. But to me, it just, I don't know. It didn't really bother me all that much. Maybe because I wasn't introduced into that system. I was introduced after that, so.
Yeah, I mean, once you get it, you feel like a sense of accomplishment, and you can notice how different it is. I think it would be a good thing to do for the new players getting into it, because then they'll realize how important gear is, even though after you get the gear, it's not really important anymore, because it's probably not going to be hard to get it. You're just going to have to spend some time to get it, and you're going to get, completely raped while you're, going through the journey. But once you get it, it'll be worthwhile. And I think that would help everybody else, because then they'll be like, oh yeah, my gear matters. I should have crystals. I should have augments. I should have every piece filled. And currently that's not really a thing. People don't have color crystals. As I said, they don't have augments. The random green and blue pieces sometimes. It's rough, and I can understand why, because gearing is not so easy right now.
Yeah, because there's the gearing system right now is, speaking of gear, I know with what Nimmy and, Valek were saying, people, I see ranked, when I look on stream, because I pretty much I like to just watch different people without being bothered. I see different ranked players checking out each other's gear just to make sure everything's accurate. And then you come across this, I think it was a Navy stream, Naevi. I think there's another ranked player on DM there, but he was checking out people's gear, and he saw that there was one guy that was like 224, something like that, all greens or something like that, and he didn't even have a color crystal or anything like that. So I know gear is important, but I wanted to ask you, like, how do you feel about this gearing system? Because right now, I don't like it because, one, if I wanted to be full, like, 258, I have to take an accuracy piece. Now, I know for a PvPer, if you don't want accuracy, I have that in my glove. Some people may have it in their boot or whatever. Healers kind of get that free pass because the gearing system for them doesn't, allow them to take any accuracy. But how do you feel about the gearing system? Because, like I said, you can't gear how you want to gear.
I find it mostly redundant. You can get rid of your accuracy. Love boot, take the critical enhancement from that and put it into DPS one. However, it still does limit you on. You have to take critical in your hand. You have no choice. You take critical in your boots. You have no choice. The only real choice that you have in your gear is maybe that you can change the critical chest piece into a alacrity chest piece. That's pretty much the only option you have besides, your earpiece and your implants. Everything else is the same stat, and it's not going to change. I think that's a terrible mistake on their part. I think they're trying to move forward to making like universal pieces, like they'll have set stats and they'll just never change, which gives away every bit of customization that we have. And if they do that, I think that will be definitely a huge downfall of this game. Stat specialization is a cool thing that's always been a part of the game, and if that goes away, I'll be actually pretty upset, because it's one of my favorite things to do, test stats and how broken something might be. I definitely do think there needs to be a stat squash, and some things do need to change gearing wise, but overall, I guess that this system takes enough time to gear that it gets somebody to do, but it takes too much time if you want to gear multiple characters, and I don't like that. I think they could have made this really good by making legacy MDCs or making the component exchange daily, and also not changing the ranked wiki to be 50 losses. Like, nobody wants to mat farm anymore because they're like, oh man, I want to get on Star Wars, I want to lose 50 times in one day, then I turn around and do it on another character. rinse repeat. Do you know how many games you would have to play? You would have to play like over 1,000 games just to get probably all of your imp tunes. Nobody's gonna do that. That's insane. I don't know what they were thinking. They're complaining about mat farmers, and then they turn around complaining that the people aren't getting actual games. I mean, if you just played the mat farmers for a little bit, you would have some rating, then you would go against the people that aren't mat farming. It's silly at the same time. I would rather have the community active rather than inactive, because there's no rewards for it. But at the same time, it's really rough because, in regs, you get people just queuing for rewards. And that's eventually probably what's going to happen for, ranked. But there's going to be, I guess, a good balance. I think mat farmers were kind of good for the game. but at the same time, I also think that it devalued ranked rating for group ranked. I definitely think that they should eventually, at some point, give you no rating for beating a mat farm team or something like that. Like if they're too low rating compared to your team, like you should get +0, but you still get like progress towards your weekly or your daily or whatever.
So I mean, with the gearing system, like I don't like it. I agree with you 100%. They should had made the crystals 100% legacy wide or and whatnot there like they done with everything else that they've done. I don't know why this would be any different because I have a couple tunes like I have a mirror class now just because it's easy to gear up on and I was like, oh, that actually sounds like a so. I mean, I 100% agree with that. So I wish they would change it. Maybe in 6.0 with that airdrops they'll eventually change it. But yeah, I don't like how the gearing system is. It's just all around Terabad, Horbad, whatever you want to say.
Bring back 4.0 gearing system. I really like that. However, bring us back the vendors. What was it? 55 cap and 60. I think it was also 50. But there's the vendors on both sides of the little section areas for PvP for gearing. The agent, the non-force users on one side and the force users on the other side. They had two little vendors in between both of those areas, and they would sell mods and enhancements. Therefore, you could specialize to like maybe a Zorb build or whatever for Assassin, which was really fun to play. You could specialize your stats exactly how you wanted. How you could even go for your ranked mods and your ranked enhancements before you went through other things. And I think that was really nice. And losing that customization really hurt. I would like that to come back. Plus, how easy it was to gear in 4.0 was really nice because then you could not only gear your characters, you could also do it through low Bs and mid Bs. Low Bs and mid Bs do not have like any rewards for doing them, except for doing them for fun right now, which I think is a terrible idea. Pretty much nobody doesn't do any anymore, so it gives new players a hard time to experience PvP earlier. And what some newer players, at least I know I did this at one point, was when I started a new character, I would just do a whole bunch of low B weeklies to gear up a new character before I went at 70 or 60 or 65 before I jumped into PvP on it, so I could have it fully geared before I get my ass handed to me, I guess you could say.
Now I want to ask you here. I know we talked about gearing system, we talked about unranked. Let's go into the ranked community. How do you feel about ranked PvP? You being in the top, one of the top Mars there. How do you feel about ranked PvP?
I wouldn't say a top Mar. I don't play enough ranked, I guess you could say, to actually be over there. And I would say most of the problem there is I just don't have motivation to do it. It's not that it's not a goal for me. It's very easy to get demotivated because people will either throw or people will just get in queue and they won't throw at a particular person. They'll just do it because they don't really care. They don't want to see anybody have fun. So basically, they'll just join queue and like ruin it. So for example, there's sometimes there'll be two good healers and then there'll be a bad healer that'll join in queue. That's really good for the healers because they'll get free rating off the bad healer. But if you get that bad healer, you're pretty much just losing just because you got them, and that's all RNG. And it takes a lot of the fun out of it. And the same thing goes for tanks, which definitely makes it not so much fun. And I also think all the DPS, like 44 DPS, is not balanced, like at all. There's some serious balancing issues in this game, and I hope that they eventually approach them. And I hope they do something not only about that, they also do something about maybe solo ranked, for example, because they've really kind of, I guess, messed it up because I don't think 44 DPS is balanced, like even in the slightest. You want to play a certain class like PT DPS, you're just going to get destroyed. Or if you play into like 4 mercs as maybe a marauder and you've got 3 storks in your team, like maybe if you get off heals, you guys could probably win, but at the same time, it's going to be rough. The marauder's probably going to die first, and then you're going to watch a heal off battle. It's like who can heal more to win. And I don't find that like even remotely fun to watch or to be a part of. And that's usually what it comes down to at one point when it's only 4v4 DPS matches.
And that's for the ranked PvP. It doesn't motivate you. Doesn't give Because I know some people be like, "Oh man, it's the adrenaline rush. It gets me, hyped. It gets the blood flowing. All the good stuff." But for you, it's the exact opposite. It's not really. It's demoralizing. It's sad.
And sometimes it's really fun. Like if there's a good tank, good healer in queue, it's usually really fun. Every now and then you get a lost cause match, and you just move on from that. Like shouldn't dwell on it, but sometimes it's going to happen. Sometimes it's going to happen more than often. So you got to be selective sometimes about how you want to queue. And if you just want to queue, you're probably going to have a bad time. But like best thing you do is just try to make the most of it. And I guess that from that point of view, just playing games, you can't just play games on NA. It just doesn't work like that. Maybe if you're a healer or tank, you probably can, but for the most part, it's just going to go like up, down, and there's going to be throwers, and there's going to be good games, and there's going to be throwers. It's just, if you be patient and/or use alts, you can find get the good cues, and then get on your character you don't care about, get the bad cues, and then maybe when it gets good again, switch to your main character, get the good cues again. It's, I don't know, I feel like it's a lot of time commitment and whatnot that I just don't really care too much about. But now that they finally introduced the rewards, I kind of want to go for some of the things. But for the most part, I've got most of what I already want.
Yeah, if you can spare a couple 100,000, so I get the hollow ranker mount. If you can, I'm way down there, so if you want to help me out, just saying. If you have a couple 100,000 tokens, I would love to get that mount.
Yeah, I don't think you get that again until it's season 18 or something.
Well,
you'll be able to get the Cabrada's Rancor this. However, you do not have to rush for the tokens now. You can find it out. It'll be in the vendor and it'll stay there for like ever. So you could, like, after this season, there's going to be a lot of motivation for everybody to queue because you're going to be able to grind for tokens and those tokens, and you can immediately go buy the rewards from the vendor, which is going to be really nice. So if you guys are trying to get the Cabrada's Rancor, you don't have to rush now. You can rush after the season's over. You can buy the limited time or the previous season, rewards, and then you can use your other comms on that you build up for the new season to get the Grata Rancor or the season 1 stuff that was released.
Okay. So for all new information there for people who didn't know, or just maybe for people that wanted to know, so that's good news to hear there. Now I'm going to ask you just about specific classes there, just in general, just about how you feel about them personally. I know you've matched up against them quite a bit there, but I wanted to ask you there. I think we can agree to disagree there, but flavor of the month, flavor of the year class, the Merc. I wanted to ask you, what's your opinion on them? Good, bad, all the good stuff there. I mean, those are I call them 3 fail-safe abilities because you have the Kolto, the energy shield with the, was it the trauma and the safeguard?
I mean, they're really strong defensively, but if the person doesn't really know how to play it, for example, they're not going to dish out the damage they need to, which IO is like I guess you could say a noob trap. Somebody tries to play IO and they don't really know what they're doing. They're just not going to be able to contribute as much as they could maybe playing an Arsenal. I don't really play Merc that much, but I used to play IO a lot. And it was fun, but at this point, I didn't like playing Jug previously because it felt too easy, and Mercenary's pretty much been too easy. But now that their damage has been nerfed, I feel like they're a little bit better. At the same time, it's you can't just sit one DPS to just DPS through all of his DCDs. You're gonna have to CC him out during Energy Shield or Trauma, or not Trauma, but what's that thing called? Kolto. You'll have to CC him out on something, otherwise you'll probably not win. Obviously, probably still get concussion missile and they'll heal up, but at the same time, it's rough. The survivability on that class is basically, I'm going to outlast you before you kill me. Or if they're really good, they're going to know how to do DPS, and they know how to, I guess, keep you at bay. One thing I really don't agree about Mercenary at the moment is Missile Blast Root. I don't think that should be a thing. I understand the knockbacks. I think their knockbacks are fine. But Missile Blast Root is just kind of stupid. I also don't like that there's a slow on Bracing Bolts. So that basically meaning a Mercenary doesn't really know what they're doing. They can hit the S key and just hold the S key, use Bracing Bolts on you, and they can successfully kite you if you don't have anything to purge that slow. I think that is the stupidest thing ever to be released in this game, along with the standard knockback route on Sniper AoE. or AoE knockback. Like it's just, I think it's unnecessary, especially since they have extended knockback, so you can get like knocked into outer space and then you're stuck there for 5 seconds. It's great.
Yeah, because I know for me, I was like, well, safeguard. I mean, you can just. It looks like from what I saw you guys doing, just AOE it, and they don't get anything back, which is kind of funny how that works. And then with the, obviously with the energy
Yeah.
shield, you looks like, you CC them and they can't get there. Was it they nerfed the ability where you can get the heals back? I know it was a lot more prevalent, but now they nerfed that. So I mean, that's, I guess, okay. And then you have the Kota, which everyone usually takes a 65%, which you really can't do anything about besides DPS them hardcore, but still. So I was like, that's why I was like, everyone, like the first thing that people say is like, what's the most OP class? And that's kind of like subjective because anybody can really say their own class. But the first two classes that come up, and maybe this is just me, is Fury Marauder and Arsenal Merc are the flavor of the class. Like I see a lot more people playing Fury Marauder, a lot more people playing Arsenal Merc. That's just me. So
Yeah, I would definitely say that. And
like there
Sniper's really
shouldn't be
good.
that.
Sniper's really good too. Like Diversion is, I don't know. Diversion just has so much control over the fight, and it's a really good ability, especially when there's a sniper on the other team. Having one sniper to counteract the other sniper, it's almost mandatory. I honestly think Diversion should go back to old, to like maybe single target, or maybe just be AoE DR for the team that's inside of it. So you wouldn't actually have an RNG aspect of like, hey, he's probably gonna hit 30k on me if he gets RNG on his side, because accuracy, whatever, it's just accuracy debuff. And most of the time you're not gonna have RNG on your side, and you're gonna miss that ability. Obviously you can get out of it, but I think AoE DR would be a good way to change Diversion rather than just having accuracy, because it's definitely as a weird ability that's, I guess, too strong. However, Sniper as a whole, outside of that, you have to really know how to play it, and it really shines when you know how to play it. I think it's definitely a really good one. But Mercenary and Fury Marauder, I think Fury Marauder is just, its scaling is way too high. I think it's okay. Sometimes I feel like when I hit a 39k on somebody, which I've done recently on a Sork, I felt kind of as bad, but at the same time it's auto crit plus I had the red buff, which is not something you would have in ranked, so you probably wouldn't be hitting that in ranked. So thankfully, it's just, I feel like the burst and the fact that it's supposed to be sustained is a little insane. I know it's supposed to be bursty, but now it's actually like, I think, one of the best sustained damages right now. And then for Arsenal, I don't know. It's definitely really easy to play, and I think that's why a lot of people play it. They hear that it's OP, so they're gonna, probably go to that class.
Okay. All right, there, because I know LD Cyrus over there. He's a Fury Mara, if I'm not mistaken. You're a Fury Mara or Concentration Sentinel, whichever mirror class there. So
Yeah,
would you say?
I would definitely like to play like Combat Carnage more. I don't like the changes at all. It definitely helps higher ping players. A good move, but at the same time, I just don't like the changes that they've made. I feel like Carnage doesn't flow as well as it used to, and that's kind of like personal preference. Some people will say it feels better than what it used to, but since I've been playing it since really 2.0, I don't know, it doesn't feel 100% the same, but I still do main that spec and I enjoy it. But after really learning how to play Fury and just buckling down, because I really hated Fury, I was like, oh, I'll never play that. And then early 5.0, I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try, I'll learn it. Because at that point, I wanted to learn every spec in the game and give everything a chance to see if there was anything else I really liked. So I gave Fury a chance, and boy, was I surprised. It's not only like kind of easy after you get the muscle memory for it, it's also just really strong in comparison to playing like Combat or Carnage and then switching to Fury. You have such an easy time hitting somebody, staying on target, killing somebody, or being able to do sustained damage, never have rage problems. And it's just overall has so many advantages over like Combat and Carnage and Regs that like there's almost no point to play a Combat or a Carnage unless you want to play it. So therefore, it's kind of like a no-brainer choice.
Now is Carnage only because like I try to play Carnage, and let me just say, guys, I'm not a good Mara in general. Like Fury, I did decently, but I'm not gonna toot my own horn or anything. Does Carnage really need a healer for it to shine, or does it? Is that just what from what I'm just taking from what you said, or maybe a summarization of what you said?
Not particularly. Carnage shred people like super fast, but same thing. Fury can nuke people pretty hard, which might give them like a harder time to maybe recover. But at the same time, Carnage is just really fast with its burst, and it can pretty much go on any target, which is kind of nice at the same time. However, you are just a bit more squishy because Fear Strike you get for 6 seconds, I believe, defense chance 15%, something like that. And you also have CC immunity sometimes as Fury, and you get Obliterate, which is I think 2-second root, and also another gap closer. Fury overall, I would say, is more tanky, and you can also fight kind of mid range because you have some range on some of your abilities, which is really helpful. And Combat doesn't really have that. You have to kind of like stay really close. I would say definitely with a healer you would be doing better, but I don't think you actually need one. It will be rough to try to fight against a lot of range as Carnage, but you probably have a lot more kill potential.
Now I wanted to touch on it. Would you say, you said Sniper obviously has a learning curve. Between the two, would you say which is much more difficult, Sniper or Assassin? They're really for the learning curve.
Did she say Assassin? What?
Yeah, I said Sniper or Assassin. Which one is which is highest difficulty, class spec, that?
I wouldn't say Assassin is particularly hard anymore. They kind of dumbed everything down. Ever since 3.0 came out, they've been just gradually dumbing down everything and removing abilities for every class, every spec. Like for Hatred, we used to have Shock and Maul. You don't have Shock and Maul anymore as Hatred. It's been combined into not only Demolish, Eradicate. I don't know, changed it 3 times now. It used to be Crushing Darkness. Now it's Demolish or Eradicate, one or the other. And then they combined Maul with Leeching Strike, which was a separate ability at the beginning of 5.0, I believe. And they've kind of like just been gradually dumbing it down. I kind of think that change was good for Hatred, but meanwhile they've nerfed Phantom Stride, and people may not see him, but it is definitely a pretty big nerf because you used to instantly be able to restack your discharge. So when you're going for like maybe 3 discharges in a row, you just kind of get screwed because you have to wait for the GCD, and that's probably most noticeable in PvE where you are constantly able to have uptime. But in burst windows and PvP, that's a big hit. And I never really liked playing Deception, but not only that, they lost Stun DR. They don't have Phase Walk anymore. I don't know why. It was a key ability for that class. It's really rough for Assassin, so I can't really say it's all that hard to play anymore. But in the current state of how squishy they are, you would have to be pretty good at it to not just be a complete waste of space, I guess you could say. And Sniper, I would still say, is more technical gameplay and reactionary. So I would say Sniper would just be the harder class to play. Because once you start casting something, like as a Sniper, the only thing you can really do is, I believe you can hit Escape to cancel your cast. So say if you have to roll, like you have a diversion coming at you, but you're casting Ambush, you can hit Escape and you can roll. But somebody may not have the reaction time for it. Usually you have to have like maybe under 40 MS or something to usually always be able to predict it, or not be able to predict, I guess, see the AoE before it hits you and stuff like that. And also, like say somebody's used a thermal detonator on you, and they have their auto crit and they have the energy load, you can probably roll it. The energy load will still be up for them, but the TB, absorbed. So I think there's a lot more skill involved for a Sniper.
Because I know you play a Sniper, you main a Sniper there, or not main a Sniper there, but you do play as a Sniper. What class would you recommend to anybody that wants to play a Sniper? Recommend marksman, engineering, virulence?
I would say virulence. That'd be the best way to learn. It's really something, and you'll also still be helpful because as numbers across the board, even though it'd be like, blowing up everybody, it'll give you an easier time to learn the abilities, priority system, and whatnot. You could parts with it like for maybe 20 minutes, and you probably get the gist of how the rotation goes and how to do it, and the fact that you can mass dot everybody. It's really fun. Seeing all the yellow numbers, slowing everybody. The slows really help for kiting when you're new to it, because you may not understand that, hey, you can leg shot, hey, you can flashbang, you can knock back, and you can roll over them and slow them and whatnot. Like you may not know that, and Virulence would be a good way to keep it simple and learn marksman. There's also another one that's really nice. Some people don't really understand how the management works as a new player, but eventually you will get it. You can have a lot of fun with that too. I think engineering would probably be the hardest one to try to jump into as a new player. I would not recommend even trying to play that until you're experienced with its DCDs.
Now, what kind of, I wanted to ask you here, what kind of changes would you say, like the same thing I asked Valek and devs were, they always go on alternate accounts, whatnot there. What kind of PvP changes would you recommend? Obviously, besides the maps, you want, different style maps, not more hut balls, but less of those, and maybe just more diverse, like obviously destroying, killing people. What kind of PvP changes would you, recommend, either for PvP or, I mean, not for PvP, but just like unranked and ranked?
I mean, outside PvP gear, I think, yeah, I would say new maps.
Like, would you say, hey, I think we need
There's better matchmaking. Like they've made efforts to make it better. So I think if they worked on it a little bit more, they could probably nail it on its head. And for ranked, I feel like if somebody leaves, like say, this still happens. Like I think even, let's say, I think it was Devil the other day that didn't have a healer, or it was Daiquiri. Daiquiri didn't have a healer the other day, and he still won. But I feel like games like those should just be shut down. Like they shouldn't happen. Everybody should be booted from the match, cost nobody rating, and you have to reform it. Not only would that stop unfair matches, it would also stop backfilling for people a little bit, and maybe potential or intentional win trading and whatnot. I think them going along that route, and maybe making other measures to try to prevent that kind of stuff, I think would be really good for the community. And I think if they just would talk to the community and acknowledge them and acknowledge that they have good ideals too, we could probably come to a conclusion of how to make a solution for all the problems that we currently have. However, I don't think that they really care about talking to the community or really listening to them, which is super unfortunate. And a lot of games that do really well listen to their community, and it would be really unfortunate for them to just not listen and things just get worse and worse. I think that's the best thing they could probably improve on for this game, is just listen to the community. So PvP would definitely probably get better if that was a thing, because a lot of people have really good ideas.
Now, would you say, like, any specific classes you'd be like, okay, we need to nerf that class, like anything to change, like specific changes, like class-specific changes, you would say, like, oh, yeah, I think this should be reduced by 2%, because it's too OP?
I wouldn't judge any of the classes, but there definitely needs to be class balancing changes, whether it's a nerf or a buff for every other class.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, definitely needs to be balance changes. Like, I feel like Fury might be overperforming, like some other classes too. Like APPT's burst is really nice right now. I believe I hit a 47k on somebody the other day. It was pretty crazy. I feel like that might be good, but I feel like some of that might be, like, burst wise, needs to be pushed down a little bit. But at the same time, I also think that everybody else should be buffed up to like the same level. Maybe not at the same exact level as like Fury and AP, for example, but I feel like everybody just needs a little boost. Because there's some things that are just underperforming, like thundering blast or whatever for lightning has always been kind of like meh overall. I feel like it's gotten better with the new gear, but just like certain abilities for classes have just been utter trash for quite a while. Like cool for Virulence has been trash ever since they nerfed it by 33%, I believe it was. It almost does negative damage to people, which is really stupid. The fact that you can even have negative damage, you only see it when you hit a tank, but it's stupid that can even happen.
Well, I hope somebody in the one of the Bioware influencers is listening. Wink, wink. I know one is right now. A couple are right now, or a couple were listening right now. So, I mean, I want to see PvP balanced in general, but I know potentially it never will be. And to me, I just, like I said, I stopped playing PvP in general. I don't want to ever play it again. It just frustrates me to no end. Hearing, I know there'll always be a tank healer combo, but like a tank healer combo at one node holding off 4 people because either we don't know how to CC or we just, swap targets. I mean, or more or less the operative. Like, I'm not saying like, operatives should be able to hold off 5 people at a node, but I think it comes to a time where it's a little bit ridiculous where, somebody can hold off 5 people. That doesn't make it very fun in a PvP match, in my opinion.
That issue that I have with how to. A lot of people don't understand how to. If you ever see an operative double rule, it usually means that they're probably gonna have to CC a break if you CC them, or they're gonna have to vanish. Like, they're almost utterly screwed if they ever double roll. You can usually take advantage of watching it, but at the same time, if they have like slows or whatever, or somebody that helps them slow, they're probably gonna get away with it. But most of the time, just well-timed CC, not random CC, and that's not what you're gonna get in Rex. You're gonna have random CC. Like, somebody's probably gonna all while you're trying to kill them, and it's, it goes to waste. And then obviously with combat changes, I'm not like saying that anything should be buffed or nerfed. It just feel like overall things just need to be looked at rather than ignored. And obviously I feel like they should talk to the community before they make any of these changes. They shouldn't make any of these changes blindly, and all these changes should, obviously, I feel, in my opinion, should be tested on PTS. Most of the time that I get on PTS, I'm like the only one on there. Like, nobody gets on PTS because there's almost no reason to. But if there was actual like changes that needed to be tested, whether this was good or not, and maybe give like some incentive for people actually logging on and testing it, I think would be good. It'd be really nice to actually see how class balance changes might actually help, and it would actually require a lot of people to actually get on to, I guess, accurately judge, because then not only would have to try it in like group ranked, solo ranked, regs and whatnot, but I think almost everything just boils down to them talking to the community.
So if they were to say, let's just say they were to go ahead and let's just say they announce, hey guys, we're going to go ahead and make a PvP map, maybe a new ranked PvP map, something not like that Battle, Mandalorian Battle, Rishi Arena, something. But let's just say they made a new map. Would you say, you guys all test it out first before they release it? Because I know it seems like the devs like to test it out. And they're like, oh yeah, we're good to go. And then we have Vanden. Desync issues all around. Traps that don't stun. Flame that doesn't shoot up. Or like, I saw your one glitch, someone clipped it where you were on your PT and you jumped somebody and they pushed you back and it shot you off and then you like blew up instantly.
Yeah, I mean, I could have probably walked out of it, but at that point I was just like, I'm still gonna take like half my health bar, and like, I don't know, I think that's a terrible thing to happen. And why Vanden probably got moved into the game like that is because there wasn't enough like the reasons to get on PTS and try this map and people to give accurate judgment. I feel like some people don't really either know what they're talking about or really care to give like accurate feedback and say, hey, this is bad. Like, the game needs critics. Like, it might be like a negative like view on the game, but they're not like doing it to, I guess, say, to trash the game. Like, some people want to trash the game, but most people that are critics, they want the the success of the game. They want to see things get better, and definitely need just more people overall, whether they have a negative view or a positive view. So bring everybody, I guess, together to, I guess, kind of figure out the issues with a map. I definitely think it was terrible because there was no incentives of getting on PTS, in my opinion, to do Vanden at all. Like, I considered downloading it, and it was like, nah, there's no reason for me to. I don't want to play hotball, and I don't want to get on PTS where it's just, why would I do that? If they gave us like a freebie title or just something, like, there's so many things that they can add to the game with very little development time, and give it to us as like, hey, you went to the PTS to try this out and you gave feedback. Like, if people knew that their feedback was actually going to be listened to, they would probably, be able to bring up more suggestions or more good ideas to actually help out the community.
So I'm gonna go with this here to make sure I have this correct. Nimmy and Valek, said Junkie. I don't know much about Junkie besides hearing his voice there. Who would you say inspired you? Because I've seen you play different classes there. Have you watched anyone? Because I feel like you'd be like a student of the game. In fact, you like to learn, process information. You like to, test it for yourself. Who would you say inspired you to play like different classes there, if anyone in general?
Well, the way I started the game was I tanked. Eventually moved over to PT. I met Poison Hop a really long time ago. I played PT tank, and this is back to the time where Hoppin was very good at the game, and Poison was still pretty young. PT DPS was not my thing. I really didn't like it. I mean, I liked Pyro, old Pyro, which is basically AP now. Kinda. It's really weird. Like the skill tree has changed a lot for PT. But Showtech was kind of what I liked, and I liked Oil Suck. But I never understood why PT had a blaster, whatever. Stupid. But eventually made a Marauder, and I never looked back because, I PvE'd on my Sork. And Ashera, I eventually geared up Ashera more than my Sork, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to make a Marauder and move on from there. But I think for the most part, I chose what I kind of wanted to play. I wasn't really inspired by anybody. However, when I got into streaming, I got into to make videos easier. And the main reason I got into videos is to help people, and not only that, help myself, because I know I don't know everything and I'm not the best, and I still have a lot of stuff to work on. And one of my biggest issues I think that I still tackle is sometimes I maybe will how to put it, not try as hard as I probably can, which I don't think is a bad time or a bad thing. It's just when you have to grind so much, it gets really boring, and you might be tired or worn out, and you don't really want to try as hard as you maybe could to do your best. But I would say Apaduce was one of the first people that definitely inspired me to decide to make videos. I knew that from watching his videos, he was an amazing player, but he was always entertaining. There was something that I would take away for each one of his videos, because he had like a whole bunch of interesting real life stories and whatnot, and I found him a really enjoyable and nice person to watch, like video wise. And from that point, I did watch Skytor Rush's videos too. I didn't watch like all of them. I usually watch most of his montages, which I thought was kind of silly for Star Wars, but he's a really, really good editor, and I thought that was really cool. I always like kind of enjoyed that stuff, and it's something I do want to learn in the future. I'm not very good at it, but he was another person that definitely inspired me to want to play Marauder more than I already did, and learn all three specs, because I had to see like from his perspective how he played, and his edits just made it look that much better. And then another person I did watch like early on was also LD Cirrus, which I think is probably in the chat right now. I watched his videos a long time ago, and unfortunately I wasn't there for streams, because I usually if I was watching Twitch, I was probably watching League, because I was into League at that time. And now I do like hang out and his stream every now and then, but he's, I think, the only one that's inspired me that still plays, I guess. And there's some other people that I either don't really remember because they're long gone at this point, but there's definitely probably more. And it's hard to, I guess, remember, especially when people have come and gone in this game since the time I've been here. Like definitely Apaduce and Skytor Rush, you never see those guys anymore. Apaduce is still around somewhat, but I haven't seen him in a couple months, and last I knew he was playing like BDO or something. But Cirrus is actually here, so.
Man, that's a lot of people that oh, look at, there's LD Cyrus right there. He's been chatting it up here and there. I told him he needs to be nerfed for playing as Fury Mara, but that's just me. But yeah, he's in the chat right now, praying and all that good stuff there. Now, is there any projects that you in the future there that you wanted to do? Anything like, I know Dermot is having his own dueling tournament there, but if there's anything that you wanted to share with us, any projects you potentially want to do in SWTOR or anything in general?
Not quite too sure. I do want to try to learn more video editing, like just watching some of Skyto Rush's, like even the old ones. He's got some newer ones, but that's not the point. Just watching his older ones and how good he was at editing really has made me want to try to get into that and make, I guess, better quality videos and whatnot. Not only that, I would like to try to, obviously when 6.0 comes out, and make a better video guide on Roger and Jug and maybe another class. It really just depends on how much I'm into it, but I will probably make a text guide for each class since I am already working on a document at the moment, and since I am not logged in on my Twitch account because I can't at the moment. I can't link that to you guys, but I am working on a document that's, like covering everything I know about the game and other things, so like topics of discussion. Like if anybody ever actually bothers to read, it's already at 41 pages. Not only you could pick my mind of what I know, you could also maybe add suggestions or whatever else, or maybe something that I may have gotten wrong. But for the most part, that's another thing that I want to finish, and I will probably add every text guide for any of the classes that I make there, and also, key binding and the interactions between modifiers and stuff like that. It's other useful information. I would like to finish that. Mostly waiting for 6.0, I guess, for that.
Okay.
6.0, I definitely hope that a lot of things change.
Did you want me to post your YouTube channel in chat there? That way people know where to find like said videos of you?
Yeah, I can't type anything in chat right now. I've switched computers currently, and I don't have access.
Oh yeah, because then you lose all your passwords and all that, right?
Yeah, I still have them. I went to my old phone that has my 2FA on it, and I'm just like kind of screwed. I gotta wait for Authy to respond to me or Twitch to respond to me so they can disable it, and then I can, I still stream as normal because I'm still, my OBS is still connected, my chatbot's still connected. However, I cannot log into Twitch at the moment, so I can't like make any videos currently. Like normally I would probably have a video out yesterday, but I can't because I can't download my VOD, which sucks, but it's fine. I'll get through it.
Okay. All right there. Well, definitely appreciate you being on here and you being able to chat. And hopefully some of the devs are listening right now, or mainly Eric Musco listening right now about what can be changed about PvP, because I know they don't always have the answers there, and obviously listening to community on what they play, because they play it 24/7, would be a better bet than what they're doing right now. I did have a question there for you from Mr. Little Buffs over here. He said, I have a question. Do you think we should get more SR maps, or do you think we have enough?
I think for all maps right now, should stop producing new maps and fix the old. I mean, that's what should be priority for this game. Like there's a whole bunch of problems. Like Rishiko, for example, I've interceded multiple times while being super slowed. It's usually only when you get super slowed when you fall through the map and or get stuck in terrain. There's a lot of terrain that's not solid, and I don't know why they did this or why they it's even a thing. I don't understand development or any of that, so I can't really say or how hard it might be is for them to fix it, or that they even saw this happening potentially. But I've been at the bottom of the ramp, and I intercepted somebody at the top of the ramp, and I got stuck inside the, I guess the ramp. And I got stuck there. I couldn't get out, and the only way I could get out is interceding out to an ally, and none of my allies came back for me to intercede out. So I got stuck there until the end of the game. And things like that, I feel like shouldn't happen. And they added a GCD for Hollow Traverse and Phantom Stride, and it did not fix the problem. They're still broken. And kill you. And I feel like that should give a round restart or something if something like that happens. And also disable the ability to stuck. I think that would be overall beneficial to the game, because there's a lot of games where people will just give up and it's still winnable, and it's definitely really frustrating to deal with. If they fixed the maps, maybe made more things solid, less things you can get stuck in. I think it was Asana that got stuck yesterday. I don't remember whose stream I was watching, but and he was talking about it. He got stuck in Orbital Station. Just from hearing that, I know exactly where he was stuck, and I've been stuck there myself quite a few times. And over the seasons, it's always been a place where you get stuck. I don't know why that's still like a spot that you can actually get into anymore. They should do something about it. Maybe move the crate a little bit, or just make it impossible for you to get to that spot. There's a lot of spots that you can get stuck in. I don't think that should be a thing, because if you try to slash stuck it, you're just going to instantly die. That's not cool, and you're kind of just like stuck there. So you're pretty much a free kill. I think fixing the maps before we make any new ones would be the best ideal.
Koba 13 said, ask him about what is his opinion about the skill trees nowadays than back in the day.
I'd say well, it's not really skill trees, it's utilities, and I think they are. I would say that in comparison, there's a lot of utilities. Like, for example, and this is going off knowledge, Seething Hatred used to be a part of Vengeance only. It would reset your Enraged, Force Leap, and your Saber Throw. Nobody in the right mind would probably take that utility unless they're playing PvE, which, it's helpful for PvE, but at the same time, it's like, they used to be a part of the tree. I feel like it should go back to being a part of the tree instead of them, being cheap and just making a utility. On top of that, there's Stun Bubble that used to be lightning only. There's Cloak of Carnage, there's Cloak of Annihilation, and Cloak of Fury. I feel like all those things should just go back into being part of the tree, and them actually introduce utilities, or just reduce the amount of utilities and only make I guess useful or important ones. There's a lot of things that got ripped out of Pacific specs to become utilities, and I don't agree with it at all.
It looked like there's a lot more you could do with your utilities back then. From what I saw, you can mix and match. Was that how it was, or maybe I was just looking at a different perspective of it? You could just choose one from here and one from here.
Yeah,
and good to go.
You could mix your spec a lot way back when. There was Dark Maul. I'm sure if anybody played it, they probably loved it, and that customization is gone, and it's probably not going to come back. But at the same time, it stops hybrid specs for Sork, where you also do damage and you're also playing the role. Sork has lost Dark Infusion, the big dark healer, whatever it's called. That used to be baseline for whether you're a DPS or not, and they removed that, which I think is a good step in towards I guess the right direction.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you could have just halfway spec'd into it and got something good. You could do that with a lot of classes, and it was really cool. And a lot of tanks, most of the time back then, solo ranked, would be marked as DPS, even though they are a tank, because they would have more points in DPS tree than they would in the tank tree, for example. I also think stance swapping was definitely something that was kind of cool, and that's something they've gotten rid of. And I think that's kind of good at the same time, but I also think DPS should not be able to guard. I don't think that should be a viable option. That's a lot of things to keep track of. It's good in a sense that, say you're playing solo ranked or group ranked, and they're just tank telling. They're just straight up raw tank telling, and what you can do is you can guard the tank to protect him, and obviously you're gonna have to be very experienced at the same time and know when to drop it. You're still gonna have to keep track of that while you're also DPSing, CCing, interrupting, and stuff like that. I feel like that's just a bad experience overall. I don't think both of those things should happen. I don't feel like DPS should be able to, play hot potato with a guard and a healer in a 3 DPS game with a healer. I've won some games like that, so kind of I would be biased towards it, but at the same time, I think it's a bad thing, and I don't feel like, I should be getting those wins, but just because I know how to do it, you sometimes can pull out those wins. And if you find, let's say, good jugs, you get 2 jugs, they can just off-guard each other between their EDs and just survive way longer than normal, especially when there's a healer, or let's say there is no healer and it's 3 jugs, and they're just off-guarding each other between EDs. Their survival rate is going to be crazy. They're probably going to get maybe 2 EDs per map. It just really depends on how much damage the enemy team has. And I think if guarding wasn't a thing, this wouldn't happen. DPS guarding is absurd. You used to have to at least drop some damage by changing forms to guard, which you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, didn't from what I saw, didn't Mars used to have guard too at one point, and then now they
No.
don't. They don't. Okay.
No.
Who knows this? I forgot who I thought had that. But, okay. I know Little Buffs asked a question. He asked like a huge paragraph here, so I'll just read it off from word for word from him. He said, "Ask him if he believes there should be a separate bracket for tank heal games and all DPS in ranked. If you don't want to do DPS heal and tanks games, also ask him if he thinks we should have a lockout timer on throwers."
I think if we had different brackets for like solo ranked for like heal tank. Too much for them, I guess, to keep track of. Like they already have a hard time watching the win traders and everything else that happens in solos, let alone group ranked. So if we had another bracket on top of that, I don't think they would be able to handle it. Maybe with the help of the community, they might be able to, but at the same time, I feel like there's going to be a whole bunch of conflicting issues there, and I don't think that would be good. However, I do think like if they were going to make changes for solo ranked, maybe add like always have a tank heal and solo ranked. A lot of people probably won't like that, so I mean it's really hard to please everybody there, and I think the best thing to do is just listen to the community and balance classes a lot better than what it is now. So those 4v4 TPS games are able to play. And yeah, for people that throw, I feel like punishment should be brought down upon them, but at the same time, it's going to be hard to avoid them. Like they're always going to probably be there, whether they're just bad or they're intentionally doing it. It's just rough, and I think if they're like blatantly leaving or something like that, obviously I feel like the match should just end and restart and nobody lose rating, but I don't know if that would be easy for them to implement. And I don't know, just overall it's hard to tackle that issue, and I feel like if they were open to talking to the community, maybe we could come up with a solution. Obviously, if all of our minds were put together to work towards solving one problem, we're most likely going to solve it. However, when it's only put onto like one person or a couple of devs to try to fix or solve the problem, they may not be able to, figure out the solution. So talking with the community, I just think, again, is probably the best thing they can do.
Well, I'm just reading questions from anybody that added me at Infiltration10 there. So I mean, do you have any questions there, Nami? Since you're over there coughing to death over there.
Coughing to death. Well, I want to first ask if Valek or Nimmy have any questions for Cease. Are they still here?
Yes, sir. I don't actually.
Speechless.
Yeah, same.
Well, I just want to say to Cease that thank you so much for making me a better player. For some of you who don't know, I started playing PvP June of last year and met Talio, Cease, as well as Kogas all at the same time. So they were all playing on Satil Shan, so I actually boosted some tunes over there. I think I moved one like low B just to get my legacy over there, but I just started playing PvP every single day, all the time. And definitely not a great player or even a good player, but I'm definitely miles away from when I started in June. Maybe not that many miles, but that is definitely, I have to give props to Cease. Cease, if I had to name one person who could play every single class and every single spec in the game, I definitely would say that Cease would be that individual. So if you ever are looking for some advice on stats, how to play your class, rotation, etc., definitely click on his link. I have a link on the bottom of my stream for Cease, as well as my partner in crime, Infiltration, is my co-host. So easy for you guys. I would definitely go follow both those individuals, as well as click and subscribe to the YouTube channel that is also in Cease's link there. If you want to see some videos, like he said, he normally puts up at least 1 or 2 videos, maybe I guess a week or something like that. But thank you. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being definitely an inspiration for me with regard to playing my class better, or classes, I should say. I don't know. Is that all the questions, I guess, from everybody out there?
Way out there.
Way out there. I know this is a very long pod stream. I just think it's kind of like with when we're talking about ranked PvP, there's a lot to be said that, Filter and I probably don't know much about, at least myself. But is there anything you'd like to say, any of you guys, to the viewers or followers?
Don't queue for ranked PvP. Don't queue.
Nami, don't F up the queue. Stay out of queue, please, please, please.
My goal is to face off Devil in ranked PvP and then just be like, either kill him or die by him and be like, and then be called a shitter.
Well, yeah, you'll definitely hear it on the stream about how you played, but I don't think he'd be calling you a shitter. But yeah, is there any questions or anything you guys would like to add, Nimmy, Valek, and Cease, to the viewers, or anything you'd want to let them know about?
I've been thinking about it, but I have nothing to say or ask.
Yeah, same here.
Valek's like, I was sleeping. I've already. Oh, wait, I have a question for Valek. I am so sorry. I almost forgot. How's Milo? Tell people really
He's
quick about
good.
Milo.
He's the French bulldog that I got last week.
You got a little French bulldog. It's so cute. He sent me a picture of it because he was thinking about getting a corgi. Like you all know that I have a corgi, right? And next thing you know, he shows a picture of him or a picture of the little dog, Milo. I think it looked like he was in a car. Was he in the car?
Yeah, I just picked him up.
Yeah, it was like really a fresh picture of Milo. So I said, yeah, I definitely have to remember to ask how Milo's doing. So he's doing good.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Good, good, good. Well, puppies are always cute. So yeah, you're going to have to post some of those. Oh, well, look at Nikki says their dog is named Milo too. You're going to have to post some pictures of him in my screenshots in my Discord. If any of you guys want to join my Discord, you're more than welcome to join. The link is underneath my stream, as well as my YouTube channel, which will house this pod stream as well as the 3 prior ones. Now, it being the first Sunday of the month, we normally would have selected a recipient for our fundraiser. We ended up running it a little earlier because of the urgency of it. So we will not be doing any more fundraisers this month. We will start a new, call it campaign. I don't even know what word to call it. The first Sunday of March. However, like we had announced before, is that we were going to gift someone who was in need of a Swartor sub. So we would be gifting a 60-day sub also on the first Sunday of the month. So having said that, we have chosen that, the Fat Control, right? Not that. The Fat Control will be our recipient
That gate crasher.
For this month's 60-day sub. If there's anybody who is needing one, would like one because they can't afford it, they're unpreferred, or they're free to play, or just if you want to try out this game, definitely join into the Discord and send either Infiltration or myself a message, and we can see about for March. As I mentioned earlier, Cheryl, I am going to gift you a 60-day sub so you can get your act dog. So, but that's from me. That really isn't from Filter and I. Just because. Oh, I don't think you were here, Filter. I decided.
No, like I said, I was enjoying my my drinks on the sunny beaches of the golden beaches of Corelia.
No, you were asleep. Oh, is that what you were dreaming about?
That's where I was.
Oh, that's where you were. Oh, okay. So yes, after this pod stream, I will definitely be getting those codes too. Also, if there's anybody who is going to or is currently streaming, please let me know. Send me a Discord message, and I am more than happy to go ahead and raid you. Will not be streaming anymore after this pod stream, so I know for myself, thank you all for being here. I'm so excited that we got to hear from you guys. Especially because, like, I went and played my 10 matches and did not place in bronze. Lasai. That means I have to do more ranked matches. So I'm going to do what Valek does and just ignore the people and just keep on going so I can get my deco.
Yeah, that's what you should do.
I know. I'm going to have to go up so people know what I'm talking about. See this deco? I got this off my healer on Satil Sean last season, and I love the way the deco looks. So I need to get my season 10 deco to put over here. Maybe I'll move it around where this is 9, 10, and hopefully 11. But yes, I'm going to have to be in queue. If you guys see me in queue, be nice. Please be
Plant the
nice.
flag on her.
Yeah, don't put the flag on me like Filter does in regular war zones. I'm like, why do you have to put a flag on me? Let people find me on their own. Hello? But yes, please be nice to me. Don't be toxic. I'm not going to say anything back. But understand, I just want my deco. So, yeah. So anyways, having said that, I want to thank everybody for